and welcome back. Today we're going to be having a look at Microsoft Designer. Now you might notice that we have a special guest in with us today. So I'd like to introduce everyone to Courtney. Hi Courtney, how you doing?
Hi, I'm good, Niall. How are you?
Good, I'm grand. Cheers, thank you. It's a nice sunny day up here in Aberdeen. How about yourself?
It's beautiful here in Alba as well. I've got some nice natural light coming in the window, which we've not had for a
Yes.
while. So
Yeah,
it's
well, I'm sitting here with loads of different lights around me to try
yeah.
and
Oh,
replicate that.
imagine
It's not
that.
nearly as good as yours. So, I would kind of just like to get a chance to introduce Courtney to everyone. So Courtney's a part of the team here at TA Scotland. I'm going to just pass off to Courtney just now, just to kind of give us a little bit of background about yourself, let us know kind of what your history is of designing, and kind of where you got started on your design journeys.
Yeah, so I've been working with Tablet Academy Scotland. I started as an intern when I was still at university, and that role was really design focused. So what I did there was really designing things like social media graphics. At university, I studied marketing, so design is a big part of that role anyway. But coming into this role, straight from uni and while still at uni, I didn't really have any design experience, so it was something that I found a wee bit scary. Like because everything should be perfect on social media and on the website. But when you've got apps like Designer and kind of tools that you can use to do it, it just makes it so much easier. And now in my role as marketing manager, I find that designing social media graphics is quite a big task when I've got other stuff I need to be working on, like strategy or writing captions and some email marketing. So when you have things like this, it means that other people can take on the role of designing just because it is so simple and easy to use. Because I think it's such a big thing, design, to make something visually appealing. um Everyone says it takes a good eye, but when you're doing it digitally, there's lots of things that can help you. So yeah, designing is quite a big part of my day-to-day role, but I definitely find that having certain tools that we can use makes it good for everyone and means that other members of the team can do it too, so it's great.
I like that point there about how if we're doing it digitally, we can go back and we can kind of
Yeah.
edit and make changes and work collaboratively with others. It was definitely something when I came in, my design skills were definitely lacking. So I am very grateful to have had kind of your eye, like you mentioned there, to kind of up level not just kind of your own skills but also my skills as well, which I kind of really appreciate. So what's kind of like when you were younger, when you were a student in school, were you kind of a fan of art and design? Did you play around with the paints and pens, or kind of what was your background there?
Yeah, so I always have been. I've always been into drawing, and I never really loved, like in art school you do. Like I can remember making masks. That was never my thing, but I loved to just sketch and draw, and I found it was a way that I got my ideas down. I can remember when I was applying to university, I would like draw things that I wanted to put in my personal statement before I would go and write them. So I've always been a really creative person, but I found that having the kind of technical drawing ability is not something that I had. Like I never was at school and wanted to go and be an artist, but I did love expressing myself in that way. So I guess I kind of now I do really enjoy using digital tools for designing. I think it's just kind of stemmed from that. Like it's always been the way I've learned and the way I've liked to be presented information. So it's just great that we can use it so much day to day now.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, I kind of I like your kind of points there about using the digital tools to kind of go back and kind of make edits and these things. What is your flow when you're wanting to create something? Do you write down the words first? Do you just jot down the artwork like you said when you were applying for university? Do you just kind of sketch out? What's your flow when you want to create something that you want to then put out into the world?
So I always start with the mindset that the thing I create first time isn't probably going to be the finished product. And that is something I had to work on, because I always thought, we need to get it perfect first time. But now I know we don't. I always go back to kind of what I did at university, but that's where I learned a lot of that stuff. Even when I was writing, reports or essays, I would look at, okay, so what needs to be in this, and then how do we connect it? So when I'm designing, I kind of try and do the same thing. So if I'm designing a social media post, I'll think, okay, what is the purpose of the social media post? I actually start with writing the caption, so I've got something for the design to go off, and then I go and look at, okay, so what's worked well previously on social media? Maybe they're liking images of people's faces now, or maybe posts that are really informational are going well. So I'll also look at that, and then I'll just start. But I think one of the big things with designing is just starting. You know, you can get really hung up on, oh, how am I going to do this? I don't know where to start. I would always say a good thing to do is get your information in first. So if I'm designing a flyer, for example, I'll get the information in there, won't worry about the style. Then I'll start styling it with fonts, colors, maybe adding some images, and then it does all eventually pull together. I think it's just about trusting the process. And I always say that to myself, or if something's not looking great, just know to yourself, right, I need another eye on this. Like Niall, I'll ask you sometimes, oh, can you take a look at this? Or you'll ask me, what could we do to this design? And I think it's being comfortable with the fact that you're probably not going to get it right first time. And it's fine, because when we've got it digitally, you can just make those edits. You know, it's not as if you put black paint on a piece of paper and you need to start over. So I think just trusting that process. And I think the more you design things, the more you get comfortable with different effects that you can add to things, the better and the more visually appealing your designs become. And it just becomes a lot easier.
Yeah, I love that point there about you're not, like, everything is reversible if you're using the digital techniques. You're not kind of splashing the black paint on and having to start again later on. Yeah, I love that kind of metaphor there. It's quite nice. We've got a word in the office as well for if you ever need a design to look a little bit nicer, just kind of up level it a wee bit. We say send it to Courtney to Courtneyfy it. It's just to make everything look kind of that little bit better, kind of a little bit more presentable, something you can share out with others. And sometimes it's like you said, it's good just to get your ideas down and then ask someone else to kind of give their input and see what works for the design that you're working on. Nice one. Thank you very much. So we're going to have a look now at Microsoft Designer. I'm going to start off by showing you a wee video to get started with, and then we'll have a look at kind of how you can access the tools, and then we'll start to create our own images. So if you just give me 2 seconds, I'm just going to ping my screen up. So I'm going to go for this one, entire screen to share my audio and share. Okay. So you should now be able to see. I'm just going to make this one a wee bit bigger just now, and I'm going to share this very quick video with everyone. Just unmute us again. So I thought that was just a nice wee video just to kind of give you an idea of what kind of Designer can do. So there's loads of different things that we can use Designer for, whether that is designing a cake, designing postcards, designing kind of cards and book covers, these kind of things. I thought that was just a kind of nice way in for everybody to kind of see what we're going to be doing. I'm just going to share just now how we can get started and log in. So when you for the very first time, search for Microsoft Designer, it pops up at the top. So we've got designer.microsoft.com. And when you click on that link, you're given this page. Now, Designer is a little bit different. You need an invitation to actually join the program at the moment. It's still in beta. It's still being kind of updated daily, and there's new things coming out. We will show you that in just a wee second. So what you can do is you can join the waitlist. All you need to do is type in your email address and you can join the waitlist. And then as soon as Designer becomes available to you, you'll be able to access that. But I have something even better for you now. So if I head to my banners right now, I have a join code for the first 10 people who join. So we've got our bit.ly code there. So it's bit.ly/TAS-designer-join, and the first 10 people who have not yet been able to access Designer will be able to access Designer. So all you need to do is type in that bit.ly code. It's at the end of that wee banner there, and you'll be able to access Designer. I'm just going to pull that away again there. Okay, from there, all you need to do is hit sign in. And once you're signed in, ready to go, you can then access the tools. So I'm just going to close this down now, and we're going to head in. So once you sign in for the very first time, this is what you are greeted with. So here we have Designer. Oh, no, it's not. Hold on. We go new design. There we go. This is the very first one that we're greeted with. So straight away, you can see that kind of AI is at the core of designer. It's one of the kind of key kind of selling points for a designer, and it's one of the kind of most amazing parts of it is that kind of it will support you automatically with whatever you're creating. So in here on the left hand side, you'll see that we've got our designer. It will kind of do everything for us that we're needing to do. But on the top right hand corner, we've got new design. So if we just want to totally bypass all the AI to start with, and we just want to create something, up in the top right hand corner, we can click new design. And then if I close that one down, oh, sorry. New design, we'll start again. Then on the bottom left, we have a blank canvas. There we go. So we've got skip and start from a blank canvas. Now from here, we've got our sizing. Courtney, have you got kind of any recommendations on sizing for people to create things, or any tips for anyone?
So as a general rule, I think there's times when you use each of these sizes. So if you're creating anything for social media, any graphics, I'd always go with a square, because you can easily shape and resize your design, or a square tends to work for most platforms. However, if you're making a presentation, I'd definitely go for one of the rectangular shapes. They definitely work a lot better for presentations, and you can actually then customize them to make them even wider, or whatever's going to fit your screen. And your kind of longer portrait style one, that is really good if you're making something. For me, I would use it to make Instagram story posts, or even documents, flyers, anything like that. But it's also really useful if you are kind of if you're designing something and you're maybe unsure on what the dimensions should be, you can always search them up.
Absolutely. I think that's a great point, is you can search things up.
Yeah.
One of the things I used to use when I was in classes, I would use PowerPoints and Word documents, and I would change the dimensions for what I was creating. So if I was designing something in PowerPoint, like a kind of a worksheet or a page for my students, I would set the dimensions to a sheet of A4 paper, and I'd have to search every time. I think it's something like 210 millimeters by 297 or something like that. I'm picking that number in my head. Yeah. So yeah, as you said, a great point. You can always search up. When we create our designs, you can actually resize it. So if you do make a mistake, like you said, you can kind of resize everything. So starting with a square is a really kind of popular one. As I come down, I can go show all. We've got different kind of applications that you would use the different sizes for. So Facebook posts, Instagram, Twitter, Facebook again, Pinterest, LinkedIn. So there's loads of different ones in there. I guess my top tip for if you're using the squares, if you're posting anything to Instagram, this is something I found, might have changed now, is that the maximum square resolution that Instagram will take is 1920 by 1920. So if you're making a square, that's the kind of highest resolution one you can get. So if you're wanting to post kind of really nice photos, that's a good resolution to use. Or just kind of go for the standard 1080 by 1080. That one's going to work for pretty much every post that you're ever going to need to create. So it just asks me to resize my place, and then we can do that from there. Now, it's quite hard for everyone to see because I have a white design on a white background. So that won't be easy for everyone to see. So what I'm going to do here is I'm going to change the background. So all I did there was click on my design that I'm creating, and I'm just going to click on background. And from here, we can select any of these colors here. We can go inspire me as well, and it's just going to pick some random pictures or some random colors for us. You'll notice that we use inspire me throughout today. It's a really great tool. We can also then add to our brand. So we're going to touch on this in just a wee bit, but we have our brand kit. So this is going to be if you work for a business that uses the same colors every time, or maybe a school where your school colors are dark green and red, and you always use those colors, then you can apply those to your brand kit. But we'll touch on that in just a wee bit. Just for kind of ease of kind of use today, I'm going to apply this kind of, it's not the nicest of yellows, is it? Maybe I'll choose a different one. Let's go for the pink.
Oh, nice. Yeah.
Much better. So just so that everybody can see what we're doing today. So this is your layout for Microsoft Designer. Within here on the top left-hand corner, you'll notice that we've got preview because this is still in beta. We've got our work in progress. So this is the name of my design currently. So we can rename our design if we need to. So I'm just going to call this first design. Okay, and just click off. Now, what's great is because we're using the cloud, it saves everything automatically for us. So I've said this a million times now with kind of all the Microsoft tools. I love using the cloud versions of the Microsoft 365 because everything saves automatically. You're never going to lose your document. You're never going to lose a PowerPoint because everything saves automatically. And this applies to Designer as well. So everything is saved in here. When I click on here, I've also got access to my designs. So you'll see here, these are all my other designs that I've been creating. These are kind of me playing around with it and just exploring. We'll kind of touch on a few of these today. And then as we come along to the right hand side, we can zoom in and out. So we can zoom to fit or zoom in to the image. So zoom to fit, we'll do it that way. Zoom to fill, we'll kind of fill it out the way. So I'm just going to go zoom to fit so you can see it all. We can go back, we can go forward, we can start a new design, we can download our design. We will touch on that in just a wee bit. You can give feedback to Microsoft as well about Designer. As we said, it's in beta, it's still early days. So you can give feedback. You can see what is new and recently kind of been added into Microsoft Designer. There's loads of different things in here. It's like post directly to social media. We've got easily manage your design files, loads of things in there. And then lastly, you can see your account as well. So send out your invitations to people if you have your details. And then we've got our account information as well. That's going to be your Microsoft account information, not your Designer account information. So that's going to show you access to like your emails and kind of your downloads and everything you've saved in your OneDrive as well. So I'm not going to click on that today because you don't need to see all my emails. On the left-hand side, you'll notice we there have templates. So this is some kind of ideas for what you might want to create. Maybe we've got some events coming up soon. So I know we've got Mother's Day that has just passed. So previously we had Mother's Day on here. We've got Puppy Day coming up and World Water Day. So it's got the date there, so you know exactly what date we're on today. 21st. Oh, so tomorrow, 22nd is Puppy Day. So you can create a design for the puppies. You've got World Water Day, Doctor's Day is on the 30th. So all you need to do to get any of these is you just click on the design, yes, replace, because it's just going to take out the color that's in there. And then it's going to give us that image straight away. And we can edit this image. We can play around with this image and we can explore. The other templates that we have, head down to templates. We've got in here, as I scroll down, National Nurses Week. It just kind of gives you nice places to start with the things that you're creating. So for example, it's travel season. Let's hit replace this dog. You don't have to have a kind of a section all about travel. What you could use this for is maybe an album cover that you're creating with your students. Maybe you could use this as a postcard that you're sending from a book character. It just gives you a nice wee place for you to start with any of your designs. So we've got loads and loads of different templates in here from you to choose from. There's thousands of things in here. Sales, we've got tax day, earth day, coffee day. So there's loads of different ideas and kind of where you could get started. So it's definitely worth kind of playing around with the templates there. We're just going to search for a few things today just to kind of give you an idea of what you can search for. So if I type in music, it's going to give us a few musical templates here. So piano for beginners, shop guitars and gear. We've got like guitar accessories. Oh, I like that one. That's nice.
That is nice.
That is, isn't it? I like it. Like it's that open kind of guitar style like that. It still says
your text.
puppy.
Yeah, I really like that.
So yeah, it's looking really pretty good. We could also search for let's go for flowers. So we've got a few kind of templates regarding flowers in here. Courtney, have you got anything you'd like to search for?
Let's search for what do we have that's coming up? Maybe Easter. Let's see what we've got for Easter.
Nice one. Loads of different Easter ones in here. Oh, look. Every bunny loves Easter. Look at this one. This one, it's because I've edited the text. That's why. So if I change that back to
you know what? I do actually quite like that though, Niall, because if you get started with a design, and like I said before, I sometimes start with just putting the text in. This way I can put the text in, then I can choose a template and it keeps the text I've put in. So I actually think that's really good and really quite helpful. And if you wanted it to, not have the text, you would just start afresh on your design with your templates. So I think that's really useful that it keeps it there.
I think that's a great point. Yeah, absolutely. And like you said, if you don't like the text and you just want to start again and then use the template, you just go new design and it's just going to create a new one for you.
Yeah.
Yeah, nice one. I like that. Okay, so those are the templates on the left-hand side. I'm just going to come off templates, and I'm going to, again, change that background just so it's a wee bit easier for you to see. There we go. There's a blue one. On the left, you've got My Media. So this is a place for you to upload any pictures you want to share, any designs that you've already created. You'll see here I've got a few things that I've been creating using the AI. So there's a dragonfly. I've got a koala under an umbrella. This was a tortoise shell with a snake's neck and tail. I didn't really get the tail. It didn't pop out very much. And then this one was penguins, and I tried to create. It was a penguin with a giraffe's neck. So that's why that one has a really long neck. I was just playing around. But yeah, so this is where you upload all your files. I like this one from phone. So what you do is you scan the designer QR codes with your phone, and then from there you can just upload your file and it will appear directly from within here. So you can share all your files. This could be on your Windows 11 SE devices, could be on a Chromebook, could be an iPad, whatever you're using. Just scan that QR code, share your file, and then you're good to go. We've then also got on the left visuals. So this is where you're going to find kind of all the design aspects and everything that kind of up levels your designs and takes it to kind of the kind of public viewing point. So we've got here everything that you could ever possibly need to kind of use. We've got shapes, we've got icons in here. You'll notice that everything is linked into the template that I'm using. So there's lots of rabbits in here. There you go, recommended for this design. We've got summer icons, background videos, animal videos in there as well. I really like this recommended for this design. So like I said, AI is a huge part of Microsoft Designer. So it kind of lives and breathes in everything that it does. So you'll see at the top, we've got recommended for this design. It gives me a few different ideas and icons and pictures that we can use for this design, and we can put them then into our image that we're creating. So if you were doing one on football, it's going to show you a load of football images. If you were doing one on music, it's going to pull all the music images in. History, likewise, it's going to pull everything in there. So we get that recommended kind of icons and images in there. We can also generate. So this is where you can start to use that AI kind of part as well. So I could put for example, penguin on a surfboard.
Mm-hmm.
It's going to start to create that image for us, and then we can input that into our design. So let's just give this a wee second, see what it comes up with. So it uses DALL-E 2. So if you are kind of clued up on any of your AI, it uses the DALL-E 2 part. So we've got chat is OpenAI for the text part and DALL-E 2 for the images. So here we go. Let's add in this little penguin here. Fantastic. So we can have this penguin in our happy Easter picture that we're making. And one part that I particularly like is we're able to remove the background as well. So it's just going to get rid of that white background that's in our images and just kind of up level that again, so it looks a wee bit nicer. Courtney, what's your kind of thoughts on overlapping images and text, and what's your kind of thoughts there?
So I do like it. I like when we have text overlapping an image, but you need to make sure your text stands out. So to do it on this design, Niall, if we were to use the penguin and the Easter, I would make the word Easter white, and I'd want it to be slightly bolder text.
Sure, you can do that as well.
Yeah.
So I would have to change the font for that in this case,
yeah,
but that's absolutely fine.
Even when we reposition it so that the Easter is over the surfboard, I think that always works really well. If you're going to put text over images, just make sure that your text is in front, or you're not going to be able to read it properly. There is some fun designs when you can have text kind of weaving through an image, but I think to start off with, just have your text in front, make sure it's quite bold, and have it in a contrasting colour.
Love that. Great tips there. I also like that you mentioned that you can kind of have the text in front. So when you right click on these images, you can go position, and then you can go send to back or send behind. And then that way you can pull the text in front, or you can pull the text in front by clicking on move to the front. So yeah, there's loads of different parts in there. You'll also notice as well. So if I go back, and then on the left-hand side, you'll have noticed if I go restore original, let's try this again. There we go. When I add in my image for the very first time, we get two different effects that appear. So this is where we can remove the background, but we can also blur the background. So as you'll see here with the flamingo, I think it is. It will it will get rid of the background, and then it'll kind of pull the flamingo in front of it, and then it'll blur the background and stick it back on again, which is a really cool technique. So let's give that a wee try just now. So if I go to visuals, photos, and I go to, let's go for this. Let's go for this one here. So we have our rabbit here. All we're going to do is we're going to click on blur background. So we'll try it out. Let's see what happens. Now the background is already quite blurry. So you'll notice that it kind of starts to, you'll notice these daisies have started to blur a wee bit. So it just will pull that kind of main focus from the image out, blur everything else, and stick that main focus back in again as well. Okay, so there's a few wee things that you can do with your images there. We can also add in graphics, and we've got videos as well. So kind of a key point to make with Designer is that you can't, at this point, make full-length kind of movies, essentially. You can add in one video into your design, and that's grand. So I'm going to give you a kind of an idea of how you could use that later on. So we're going to be using PowerPoint, and we're going to be kind of showing you how you could use that later on. But you can add in videos. For example, here we've got a video in our design, and then you can export that video if you're needing to as well. So that is the visuals. We then have text, as you mentioned, Courtney, maybe changing kind of the colors, the style of everything that is in there. What I really like is that we've got our kind of our heading, subheading, and body text in there, but we also have the ability to choose kind of pre-created designs. So for example, I really like this one, new arrivals. I think that looks quite cool.
Yeah.
So if I make that full screen and just kind of click to move it around, so you'll notice that looks pretty cool. It's already created for us. You don't have to have kind of any design skills to create these cool kind of text styles. It will do it all for us. And all you need to do is click to edit the text that's in there. To edit any of the fonts that are, or the text that are in here already, all you need to do is click on the text box that is there. You can yourself click to kind of choose the fonts up at the top. So all you do is click on the wee pen, and it will give you suggested. You've got brand fonts from your brand kit. You've got recent as well that you've used, or you could search for fonts as well. So I could search for Chelsea Market. There we go. So Chelsea Market is a dyslexia friendly font. So here every will kind of turn into that, that font there. We can put it for everything now. Let's just put everything in Chelsea Market there. So now we have our dyslexia friendly font there. So now it's kind of more accessible to everybody. As we go through, we can also change the size of the text as well. So increase that size there. It's really simple and easy to do. You can align it to the center, the left, the right, and you can justify it as well. So it just kind of stretches out the length. You can bold your text, italicize your text, underline it. You can strike through if you're needing to, and you can adjust your positioning as well. So that's the same as when you right click, and you can adjust whether the text's in front of an image or behind the image. And then lastly, we've got our opacity as well. So that's just going to make it kind of, it's just going to make it a bit more see-through compared to the background that it is on. One thing that I particularly like before we jump into Brand Kit, excuse me, is we have Inspire Me. So Inspire Me will kind of choose a font, again linked to the AI, that it thinks is kind of going to look particularly good on this design. So if I click on Inspire Me, let's just increase this text here. Let's just make it a wee bit smaller. There we go. You can see it fits in now. It's going to actually give us a wee bit of kind of a cool design, and it's going to inspire us. So you don't have to know everything about fonts when you're doing it. Let's get Microsoft Designer to kind of do the heavy work for us here. Brand Kit. Okay, this is where we're going. This is kind of where Courtney shines. So we have here our brand kits. Courtney, would you like to kind of just give us an overview of what is a brand kit?
Yeah, so a brand kit is something that every brand should have. So as Tablet Academy Scotland, we work with various partners in the education sector, and they'll all have their brand kits. So that'll be their logo, their colour scheme, and their fonts. Now that's really important, because what we'll have to do is often design graphics for them, and being able to preload their brand kit into tools like this makes it really easy to make sure we're creating designs for them that are on brand. So that means that if we are doing a design for one partner and we need to use a particular font and color scheme, logo, and various images, we can just select their brand kit and it'll be all made readily available to us for our design. But you don't need to just use it for brand. You could use it if you've got a font pairing and colors that you really like to use, even for your class. If you like to, stick to the same colors, the same fonts, maybe on a particular project, it's really, really good. And you can just name it kind of after the project. What it really means is that you're just keeping your designs cohesive, and it's particularly important when you start using things like templates. If you are working with brands, for me, I do like to use templates, but what I need to make sure is that the template fits the brand. So I can use a template, but then I need to style it using the brand kit. So I think it's just really good to make sure designs are cohesive. And I don't think it should just be kept to businesses and brands. I think that if you are designing and you've got a particular style you like, why not make a few brand kits with a few color combinations that you quite like? And it just keeps things, especially if you're, working with people, I think it keeps people engaged if they're looking at things that are quite similar. And that they can understand, they can pick up from where they left off, kind of thing. So brand kits can just be a really, really important aspect to design, and I'm so glad this has it built in.
Yeah, absolutely. I like your point there when you mentioned about that it kind of helps people to kind of see everything that's joined together. So you might be scrolling through social media posts, and then you recognize the design of kind of one of your favorite brands. Not name brands on this, but you could be scrolling through and see that, and you go, "Oh, I instantly know that's the TA Scotland design, or that this is the designer design." You've got the kind of standard colors and fonts that you'll use. Absolutely. So to create your own brand kit, all you do is you go create brand. Let's name this one TA Scotland. And from there, we can choose our fonts for our heading, subheading, text, and our brand colors as well. So for heading, I'm going to go for, let's go for Chelsea Market for our, and then hit next. For our subheading, it's already given us kind of ideas of what we might want to use. And then that's for our subheading. Courtney, what do you reckon? How many kind of fonts should we use on every kind of piece? Should I have a third font for the body, or should I have another font, or should I just stick to ones that I've already used there? What's your kind of recommendation there?
So I don't have a one size fits all recommendation for this, but I have a few options. So I always think that 2 fonts is great. A lot of the time people are scared of using more than one font, so they'll use the font in its regular form for body text. They might make it bold for subheadings, and they might underline it for headings, but that doesn't make your document very fun and engaging. So I would always recommend having 2 as a minimum. I quite like to do the same font for headings and some subheadings, then a different font for body text, something that complements it but maybe offers a slight contrast. Or what you can do is use the different variations of the same font. So sometimes you get font families, and you can use the bolder styles for your heading and the regular or lighter styles for your body text. It can also look quite nice, if you're having various different subheadings to use different weights of a particular font. But as a general rule, I would always say use 2 to keep your document really engaging for whoever's looking at it.
I think that's great advice. Yeah, absolutely. That's something that I don't know, I'm bad for, is just using that same font throughout, because I don't want to experiment. I know what works. I know what kind of looks vaguely good. So I don't want to experiment too widely. But yeah, as you said, I think it's a good idea just to kind of keep everything engaging for your people that are looking at the styles. I've gone back here. So when you mentioned about kind of the heading and subheading, I think that was a great tool. A great tip. So have your heading and your subheading as the same font, but they'll just be kind of, the heading will be bolder and larger. I think that's a great tool. Or tip. I'm going to come down, and then my body, I quite like Elsie. It's a bit thinner, as you mentioned. So I'm going to go for Elsie for the body. Now, colors. This is quite scary. If you've never kind of looked at hex codes and kind of the RGB codes here for the different colors, that could be quite intimidating to people. Do you have a good website or a good kind of quick tool to understand what's going on here?
Yeah, colors is a really, really hard one, even for designers. And I really like to use a tool called Coolers. So that tool is what it does, you can go on there and look for color palettes that a designer has created that complement each other. Because, you know, as you can see there, when you're working with like hex codes and color codes, you can even just be slightly out and you've got a not very nice shade. So I find it's always really good. This is my go-to. I love Coolers for finding color palettes, and you can even type in, you know, pastel or Easter or bright, and it'll give you color palettes related to what you type in. So this is always my go-to if I'm coming up with a new color palette. And it just gives you certain recommendations based on what you search for. So yeah, you can see you've got pastel styles, and then it's given us all, you know, or even by topics. Like there's autumn, that would be really nice tones that you can get from autumnal color schemes. But these ones are really, really nice. Like your pastel shades, just muted, and you can see how they complement each other so well. Whereas if I was designing on my own, I could even be slightly out. You know, I might know that I want to use a green, a blue, and a pink, but how do I make sure I'm using shades that all are going to complement each other? And this is so easy to use. So when you do open your palette, you can just copy the code and then paste it straight in when you're looking to add the color to your design. So it's so easy to use, and I would always recommend just using a tool like that just to get you started.
Absolutely. Yes. Like as you said, it's really simple and easy to copy and paste over. So I've got my kind of white blue in there. I just click and copy. It copies for me. I don't even have to do anything, and then just go down to hex, paste that in onto the next one. So let's just kind of finish this one off here for everyone. So I'm just going to change that one, and we've got our kind of peachy colors in here.
And you can see that it's not clear. And, you know, so it's got a mix of complementary colors and contrasting ones. And when you use a color generator like this, it's not scared to do that, because that is what is visually appealing. A lot of the time you might just think, oh, I want different shades of pink or blue, which can be also a nice color palette, but having your slightly contrasting shades is really good. I would always recommend that when you are developing a color palette, that you have something in there that contrasts. And look at that, it's put your design preview in the new brand kit. So
that's really cool, isn't it? I didn't even notice that we could change the colors of these bunnies. That's really cool. So let's hit save.
Wow.
And then we can click on these bunnies here, and we can, look, it does it for us. That's so cool.
So easy to use.
So we can, sorry?
It's so easy to use. It's great.
So easy to use. I think that's a key point absolutely taken away. It's really easy to use. That's kind of a massive kind of key area for this tool. The Microsoft Designer is just how easy these tools are to use. So we have our design there. What do we do with it now? Well, we want to download it, and we want to share that with everyone. So we've got a few options here. So you can download as a PNG, a JPEG, or a PDF. So these are both image files, and then this last one is a PDF file. So you can, it's like a document. I would recommend using PNG for any image that you're creating. It's just a wee bit stronger, a wee bit higher quality, sorry. You can make the background transparent. So see this blue area here? Anything that's in the background is going to be see-through, essentially. So it's going to remove that background for you. So if you're wanting to put it into your PowerPoints or into your Word documents, you can do. We can also remove the watermark. So down in the bottom right-hand corner, when you download your design, it does say created with Microsoft Designer. You can remove that watermark. That's no problem. And from there, we can now download our image. We can copy as an image. So we can just hit, it's the same as going Control-C. Or you can send to your phone as well. So you can download it. Let's just hit download and see what happens. You'll see here, we've got our first design. That's it kind of downloaded already. I can hit open file, and it's going to open that file for me there, just as an image file. My favorite thing that you can do is actually to go to download and then go copy as image. You're not going to take up memory on the device that you're using, and it's just going to save it into your Control-V, into your clipboard. And then what you can do is head to your presentation that you're creating, hit Control-V to paste, and there we have our image. Oops, I've already made it squint. There we go. We have our image into our document, into our PowerPoint that we've created, and you've not even needed to download anything, upload anything. It's the same as going Control-C to copy and then Control-V to paste. All I did there was, instead of, when you go to download, instead of hitting download, just go copy as image. It's just going to copy this as an image for you, and then you can paste that in to wherever you want to put it. So I thought that's just a really neat trick that I've not seen in many other places. I thought that was just something cool that we could share with everyone. we're going to have a look. So we've got about, what time are we on? We've got about 20 minutes left or so. So I'm going to show you a few things that you can do. So I'm going to hit new design. Remember, everything saves automatically. I'm going to hit new design here. It's going to open up a new tab for me. And from there, it opens up the AI part. So we said we'd come back to this. So from here at the top, this is where you can start to think about what you want to create. So you can actually say to designer, I want to create something. So I want to create a book cover. That's 2 words, hold on. A book cover for a story about dragons and gold. Okay, so I can now hit generate, and it's going to, on the right-hand side, generate my book cover for me. So we'll just give it a wee second. So here we go. We've got a fantasy adventure, The Dragon and the Gold. It's actually created our book covers for us, and we've barely had to do anything at all. So I really like the design, this one here. So I'm going to click it, and I'm going to hit Customize Design. From there, it's going to allow me to start to create my book cover. So I can edit this text if I need to. I can change this image in the background. We can apply some effects. Maybe we want to blur the background, remove the background. Everything that we've covered today, we can now play around with this book cover. We can add in text to say who the author is. You'll notice that it's all linked to the brand as well for this design. So it's just kind of a really neat tool on kind of how you can create your designs. This could be for a CD cover. It could be for a Teams post kind of header. You could use it for headers for your documents. I'm going to show you those in a couple of minutes as well. But it's just, I just thought it was a really neat tool. All we did was go new design and then type in up at the top something that you want to create up here. Down here, so again, it's not particularly easy to see because it's white on white, but we have, this is where you can start to create your AI image. So all I do is I click where it says underneath, describe the image you want, and we'll bring it to life. Click there, and this is where we can start to create our AI generated images with DALL-E 2. So I could put in something like, let's go for a lemon falling out of an airplane. But I don't know if this is going to work. Let's try it. Let's just see. That's only because I've got lemons in my water right now. I was just trying to pick something nearby. And so we've got a lemon falling out of an airplane. There we go. It's created our image for us. We've barely had to do anything. And there, that I don't know what's happened with this one here.
It's like the lemon is the airplane.
Yep. So to add these into your design, all you need to do is then click on that and hit select. And from there, we can now hit, these are now created for us. So we can now hit blank canvas, select your size, and then go to My Media. And you'll notice in here, these are all the AI generated images that you have previously created. So, excuse me, I'm going to just show you now how you can create a video. So I'm going to head to new design again. Let's close down this dragon book cover. And from here, I am going to head to let's type it in. Let's type it in the top. A video about let's go for dogs. Okay, we're going to hit generate. It's going to generate our posts for us. Let's see what it comes up with. Okay. Oh, these are, oh, look at the corgi there. There's some great
you
ones
really
in
want
here.
a corgi, don't you? I can.
I would love a corgi. Absolutely. Oh, I like this one.
Conversation.
Oh, look at this one. Oh, yeah, we're going with this one. This is a great one. Okay, customized design. Okay, so here we have our video. As we said, you can't make more than one page at the moment, but what you can do is you can edit this video. So this video doesn't just have to be about dogs. You could be using this for your topic on Vikings. Maybe you're delivering a presentation all about the Victorians, or maybe you're just wanting to recap your day. You could upload a video of yourself talking about the things that you've been learning and add it into your video here. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to change maybe the colors that we've got in here. So let's go for inspire me. Let's come up with a new kind of colors. Oh yeah, I like that. That's quite cool, isn't it? And let's go for the back one. Background, inspire me. Let's go through what have we got in here. Has it got any good inspiration? Nope. So what I'm going to do instead is I'm going to head to the eyedropper, and from there I'm going to find on my page a color that I particularly like. Now I think it would be nice if that matched there. just keeping it kind of on brand a wee bit. So we've got then our eyedropper that will pull the color, it's the hex code from that color, and apply it to your design there. We can change the text. We can kind of play around with the video if we're needing to. But what I'm going to do now is I'm going to head to download. And from there, we can remove the watermark. We can download this video. We can copy the URL to clipboard. So if I do that, if we give it just a wee second here, it's going to allow us to essentially view this video. So you can share it with people to watch. Now, that's taken way too long, 3 minutes. It's coming down. Yeah, it's going to take too long. So essentially what that does is it gives you a URL so you can then share that onto your teams so other people can watch your video. What I'm going to do is I'm going to hit download, and we're going to download as an MP4 file. It's just going to take its time. So whilst it's doing that, I'm going to also show you how you can, yeah, it's taking its time there, that's fine. So I'm going to head to Microsoft Designer, and we're just going to head to this one here, just while it's doing that. And we're going to have a heading for our, oh, sorry, no, let's go for it. Yeah, let's go for a heading. So I'm going to go to blank canvas, and from here, let's go for a 1080 by 1080 position here. We're going to go to visuals. Let's go to text, and we're going to add in, say, Scotland. Okay, keep it nice and simple, nice and easy. We now get some suggestions on the font that we might want to use. Oh, there's some good ones in here.
I really like how
it with this one here. That's quite cool.
Well.
And now on the right-hand side, you'll notice. Yes. Yeah, as you said, kind of that font family and the parents of kind of what you're wanting to create. So we've got in here that it's kind of like a kind of Kel font there it's got. And then on the right-hand side, we have Copilot. So this is the AI that is going to be coming to PowerPoint, to Word, to Excel, to Teams. We covered it yesterday in the AI session, definitely worth a look. But here on the right-hand side, we've got some ideas on what we might want to create. So we've got the stag there, and we're kind of looking out over the hills. Very kind of stereotypically Scottish. It's very cool. So I'm just going to ink, and we are going to just crop this image. Oh, it's a wee bit big. Oh, hold on. Cancel. Let's remove it. Detach background. There we go. That's why. And I'm going to pull it. Oh, there we go. My video has saved. I'm going to pull that image over to the right-hand side there, and let's just increase this text again, make it a wee bit bigger. Yeah, about there. We can then put the kind of image as the back in the background. So let's send to back, and I can't really read that text that's on there. So let's click and drag over the and part, and we're going to change the color to, let's go for white. You able to read that? Yeah, kind of. From there, we're going to download this image. So I'm going to head to download, and we're going to make the background transparent, remove the watermark. I'm going to hit download as my image. So that's how you download your images. The other option is to go make background transparent and copy as image. Okay, and then what I'm going to do now is, give me 2 seconds, I'm going to just open up Word, and I'm going to pull this up here. So I'm now going to add that image of the stag as my header. So all I've done is opened up Microsoft Word, paste in my image of the stag. Let's just put it over text, and then we'll put it up in the top corner. Make this look quite nice. We can crop the bottom part. So if I go to crop, just pull this up to the top there, and then drag that out over the top. Now you'll notice whenever, let's double click off, whenever I take a new page, we have the same image is applied as the header every single time. So I've now created essentially a branded document. So if you are creating a presentation all about Scotland or the Victorians or maths even, you can create your branded header up in Microsoft Designer, copy and paste it into your Word document, stick it as the header, and from there you've now got your branded document that you can work with. So it's just a kind of wee idea for you there. Let's just don't save that. I've got about 10 minutes left. So I'm just going to show you now. I would like to create a presentation all about Scotland. Okay, and now it's going to start to generate for me a kind of opening presentation slide all about Scotland. There we go. Yeah, quite like that one. That looks quite nice. We've got any others? What one are you saying, Courtney?
I like the first one.
The first one, this one here? Perfect.
Yeah.
So let's go customize design. So it's going to adjust this this slide just so that it looks nice. We can play around with the sizing as well if we're needing to. So currently it's set to this sizing. What we can do as well, if I go to create a new design, is you can find out the dimensions of the slides that you're already using. And from there, you can go blank canvas, custom size, and then choose the design size. So for example, 1920 by 1080. From there, you can go text, add heading. Let's put in Scotland. It's going to work. It's magic. Let's give it a wee second. Computer's going to be a bit slow. We've got a few different fonts that it recommends for us to use. Let's go for this one here. And then let's go for this one here. We have our stunning kind of opening slide all about Scotland. Let's increase the text size and we'll move it in. Oops, let's click off first. We'll move it into the middle. And from there, we can go download, copy as image and paste directly into, oops, it's not copied over. Let's try that again. And paste that directly into our PowerPoint presentation. And then we just have to adjust it to fit the dimensions. There we go, and pull it down. And there we have a very cool opening slide created fully within Designer in the matter of kind of seconds. So there's the one that we create to start with. This is one where you choose the dimensions yourself. And we very quickly created our very own opening kind of PowerPoint presentation slide. The last thing that I want to show everyone today is how you can use the Bing AI to come up with ideas on different things that you want to create. So I'm going to go new design, and I've got a few different things to show you. So if I go to chat from Microsoft Bing, and from there, if you've watched our AI session from yesterday, I'm just going to go new topic, where we always have to prep the AI first. So you have to let it know a bit about you and what you're wanting to create. So I'm a teacher, and any image ideas I ask for will be for 6-year-olds. Do you understand? So the do you understand bit is important because it lets us know that the AI understands kind of what we're going to be talking about. So, hello, this is Bing. Yes, I understand. I'll try to generate image ideas that are suitable for 6-year-olds. Okay, from there, we're going to I've got about 4 different things that we're going to ask it to generate for us. So we're going to please list 30 inspiring ways to use Microsoft Designer. So let's see what it gives us. So it's going to aim all of these ideas at the 6-year-olds that are in our class. So we've got a little bit of information there about what Microsoft Designer is, and now we have our answers. So create a logo for your brand or business using the AI-generated images, design an invitation for a birthday party, wedding, or other event, make a blog banner or website header, generate a social media post that catches the attention and engages your audience, create a poster or flyer for a school project, design a business card, and make a collage of your favorite photos. It's just going to keep going on and on and on. So this is how you can use the Bing AI to come up with loads of different ideas to support your students on what they're needing to create. Even ask your students to search for different things that they could create, and then from there they could be inspired to create something using Microsoft Designer. We can also use this Bing AI to search for, if I just paste in there, please create a list of animals that I could mash together using DALL-E 2. Describe how these animals would be joined together. For example, a lion's head on a lizard's body. So that was where I got the inspiration for the tortoise with the snake's neck and head. There we go, a shark's head on a snake's body. So we can start to explore that AI and use the Bing AI to head to DALL-E 2, which is on Microsoft Designer, and create some really interesting images there. The next one I'm going to show is create a list of animals wearing clothes. So we've got in there. So let's see what it gives us. I think it's going to give us a koala wearing a waistcoat. Courtney, any ideas on what it's going to say?
I love koalas. They are just one of my favorite animals.
Hopefully there's a koala in here then.
Cute. A penguin in a tuxedo, that would be cute as well.
That's a good one. Let's give that a wee try just now then. So it's going to give us all these kind of different ideas. So we're going to go for, a penguin wearing a tuxedo and a bow tie. So we're going to head to designer. We're going to put it into DALL-E 2, which is attached to Microsoft Designer. It gives you a few kind of ideas as well on what you might want to create. So we've got the end in there, bow tie, but maybe you want it to be from aerial view. Maybe you want it to be kind of Babylonian art. Maybe you're wanting it to be kind of a lucid image and using studio lighting. We're just going to go kind of standard. Let's just see what it creates for us. And from there, let's see what it makes. There we go. We've got our penguin wearing a tuxedo. Let's put in realistic and see what happens. So this just kind of shows you how you can have a little bit of fun. That's a wee bit more realistic. How you could have a little bit of fun using the DALL-E 2 image generator and kind of play around with using AI with your students. The last thing I want to show you is we can head to into Bing AI again, and we're just going to say, please give us a list of 10 different cameras and situations for AI generated images. So this is just kind of giving you inspiration on what you could create with your students. So we've got a drone camera capturing bird's eye view of the city skyline. So we've got a Polaroid camera capturing a candid moment. So this is just kind of taking lots of different styles and telling DALL-E 2 exactly what you're wanting it to create. A DSLR camera, a webcam capturing video call, a spy camera in a secret meeting. So there's lots of different ideas in there for you on kind of what you could be designing using Microsoft Designer. Courtney, is there anything at all that I have forgotten about? Oh, art styles as well. We could ask about art styles. Will we put that in? Is there anything that you can remember that we've forgotten about that we could possibly show everybody to do with Microsoft Designer? Or is there anything that kind of you've been inspired by today?
I think you've covered it all, Niall. You know what my favourite part probably is the AI. Like, I really like that because especially, like, I am quite creative, and in group tasks at school and then at uni, if we had to do anything creative, like make mock-ups of it, because I studied marketing, so I had to do a lot on branding. If we had to create mock-ups or any sort of marketing material, everybody wanted me in their group to do it. But there wasn't many people on the course who were that creative, and it would hold you back, you know? So it just means that you can complete all of these tasks that maybe creativity is such a small part of, but you can still be creative and expressive in that way. And it doesn't need to come from your ability to draw or your ability to move elements together to make a design. It can just come from the idea. So yeah, I find the AI part the most inspiring. I really like that. And I think it makes us kind of stand out as a feature that can be used for design.
Yeah, absolutely. I totally agree.
And can be used, just for it to be used across multiple kind of fields. Like, shouldn't need to be restricted to, I would personally use it for social media graphics and any other design for anything digital, but it could be used in so many contexts.
Yeah, absolutely. There's so many different ways. And like you said, some people might not have that kind of inspiration or the ideas or the know-how to create something. They might think, oh, I want to create, for example, a penguin in a tuxedo, but I wouldn't even know where to start. I wouldn't know kind of what tools are out there. So we can use things like the AI part within Designer to generate these ideas for us, and kind of we can then work on that like we did. We gave it the instruction, and then we said, actually, could you make it photorealistic for us? So you could kind of give the AI that instruction, and honestly, the possibilities are absolutely endless, aren't they?
Yeah, I love it. I love that.
It's great. So we're just going to kind of wrap up here. Before we go, so we've shown you loads of different things today. Before we go, if you've not yet had a chance to sign up, please do go to this link here. I've got 10 kind of sign up join codes for people. So we've got bit.ly/TAS designer-join. And what that's going to do is it's going to allow you to jump past the waitlist, and then you've got access to Microsoft Designer. And we also then have our survey, same as after every session that we've done over the past couple of weeks. We've got our survey here. We would really appreciate it if you can let us know what your favorite parts of today have been. And if you've used any tools with your students at all before, or if you've been inspired to kind of take these tools to your students. So we've got bit.ly, so it's a bit.ly link, /TAS-designer. Okay, so we've got the 2 links for you there. I'm just going to flash them back up again for you. So you can pause the video if you need to see them. Okay, and the last one is you'll find us on Twitter. You'll see our handles are just currently below our names there. So you'll find us both at TA Scotland on Twitter. So if you've got anything, please do share it with us. Let us know how you've gotten on. And you'll find myself at Niall Ridgway. And that's just my professional Twitter there for if you want to share anything and share anything at all with us. So thank you so much for joining us today for Microsoft Designer. We've covered heaps. There's been so many different things that we've shown you, from kind of the basics, how does the design look and what can you use Microsoft Designer for, to creating books, using the AI, creating PowerPoint presentation opening slides, adding headers to your Word documents, loads of different things. And can I give Courtney a big thank you for joining us today, taking the time out to kind of speak to everybody and share your knowledge and your wisdom with everybody. So thank you very much for that, Courtney.
Oh, well, thank you for having me. I really liked it, and I learned things I didn't know too about the AI features. So yeah, it was great. Thank you, Niall.
Nice one, no problem at all. Well, thank you again, everybody, for joining us. I'm just going to share our kind of outro video there. Please do check out the other videos that we've been sharing over the past couple of weeks. We've got loads from English to AI to what else? We've got maths, we've got homework, we've got social studies, loads and loads of different tools and kind of videos for you to watch. Most of them, there's 9 of them, are only 20 minutes long. And actually, if you skip past me kind of waffling at the start of the videos, it's only 15 minutes long to kind of jump to all the good content there. So please do give them a wee watch, share them with everybody, and we'll see you again soon for after the Easter holidays is going to be our next session. So we'll see you there. Thanks very much for joining us, everyone. We'll see you again soon. Cheers. Bye.